Have you ever been strolling through your phone, accidentally covered one eye, and realized that the other side is blurry? It's an instant jolt of anxiety. You blink, you rub your eyes, but the fog just won't clear. Your brain is actually a master of disguise when it comes to your vision. Hi, I'm Dr. Aisha Butt. Welcome back to my YouTube channel. Because you have two eyes working together, your brain tends to prioritize the high-quality image from your good eye, effectively masking any problems in the other. This is a neurological process called binocular summation. The problem is, you might not even notice a major change until you accidentally block your clear eye while driving, reading, or checking a text. Research shows that people often delay seeking treatment for sudden vision changes for nearly a week because the brain helps them ignore the symptoms until it's almost too late. Think of it like looking through a pair of binoculars where one lens has a thick smudge on it. If you have both eyes open, you might still feel like you are seeing the whole picture, even if it's slightly off. But that something's not right feeling is a high priority signal from your brain. Your vision doesn't usually change instantly without a reason, and sudden is the most important word in eye care. Before we dive into the life-threatening emergencies, let's talk about the most common reason people experience a wave of blurriness. If your vision feels crusty, gritty, or like there is a piece of sand stuck in your eye, you're likely dealing with tear film instability. That's the technical term for dry eye. Think of your tear film like a clear, smooth coating on a windshield. It has three layers: a sticky mucin layer, a watery aqueous layer, and an oily lipid layer that stops your tears from evaporating too fast. If just one of those layers is off, your windshield gets smudged and vision becomes hazy. Here's a quick 10-second self-check you can do right now. Look at a clear object in the distance. Try to keep your eyes open for 10 full seconds without blinking. If your vision starts to blur or your eyes begin to sting and water before you hit that 10 seconds, your tear film is likely breaking down. Here's how you can do a blink test. If you give your eyes a firm blink and the vision clears up immediately, that's a classic sign of surface dryness. It means the smudge was on the outside of your eye, not a problem with the wiring on the inside. We actually blink 60% less when we're staring at a screen, which leads to sticky eyelids and burning eyes that just can't stay in focus. Even if your tear film is healthy, there's another reason your vision might suddenly lock up in one eye, especially after a long day at the office. I call this the digital lockdown. Inside your eye, there's a tiny circular muscle called the ciliary muscle. Its job is to flex and change the shape of your lens so you can see things up close. When you stare at a screen for hours without a break, that muscle can actually get a cramp, much like a muscle in your leg after a long run. If that muscle gets stuck in the flexed position, you'll experience a sudden blur the moment you look up to see across the room. Your distance vision becomes a complete fog because your eye is physically stuck in near focus mode. Now I want to talk about a very specific type of vision change that sounds like a superpower, but it is actually one of the most dangerous red flags in medicine. We call it Spider-Man warning. Imagine you've worn glasses for 10 or 20 years. Then you wake up one morning, you cover one eye, and you realize you can see perfectly. You don't need your glasses anymore. While it feels like a miracle, this is often a major signal of looming diabetic crisis. When blood sugar spikes to dangerous level, it causes the lens inside your eye to physically swell. This swelling changes the shape of the lens and temporarily neutralizes your nearsightedness. If you experience a sudden dramatic improvement in your vision, it isn't a miracle. It's a warning shot that your body is in an emergency. We also have to look at migraines. Most people think a migraine is just a bad headache, but for many, the visual aura starts before the pain ever begins. There's a big difference between a standard migraine and a retinal migraine. Migraine with aura, you see shimmering zigzag lines. If you cover one eye and the patterns are still there in both eyes, it's happening in the brain. Retinal migraine is much rarer and affects only one eye. This is a vascular event where blood flow to the eye is restricted. Because this can mimic much more serious conditions, it it requires a professional assessment immediately. In eye care, we have a saying, time is tissue. Once the delicate cells of your eye are deprived of oxygen, they begin to die, and they do not grow back. The first true emergency is a retinal artery occlusion, which is effectively a stroke in the eye. This happens when a tiny clot cuts off blood flow to the retina. The symptoms? A sudden, painless, and dramatic loss of vision in one eye. The time window: retinal cells begin to die within 90 to 100 minutes without oxygen. This is often a sentinel event, meaning it's a warning shot for a brain stroke. Next is a retinal detachment. Think of the retina like the wallpaper on the back of your eye. If that wallpaper starts to peel away, it loses its nutrient source. What are some of the warning signs? A sudden shower of floaters or flashes of light. The biggest red flag is a dark shadow or a curtain that moves across your vision. If this shadow is ignored for more than 24 hours, the vision loss is often permanent. Finally, there is acute angle closure glaucoma. This is a sudden pressure crisis. Unlike dry eyes, this is intense, debilitating pain, a 9 or 10 out of 10. You may also see rainbow halos around lights. Every hour that pressure stays high, it is crushing your optic nerve. So, how do you know if you can wait or if you need an emergency clinic right now? If your sudden blur is accompanied by any of these big 3 red flags, act immediately. 1. A dark curtain or shadow. 2. Sudden pain with nausea. 3. A sudden shower of flashes and floaters. Advanced technology like ultra-wide field imaging and OCT allows us to see what's happening behind the scenes. We can scan the physical tissue for blocks in blood flow or any tiny tears before they lead to permanent loss. Your vision doesn't change instantly for no reason. Whether it's dry eye or a Spider-Man warning, don't guess, get it checked. If you like the information in this video, please like, subscribe, and share with someone who may need it.